Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Padyantam Vande Guru Parambaram. Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bhadarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha. Om Sahana Vavato Sahano Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. So namaste once again, everyone. Second. Yeah. So
Hari Om, Guruji.
Hari Om, Hari Om. So we'll catch up after missing one class. Oh no. Right.
Come back only at 1 o'clock at night. You won't have had enough sleep also.
That's okay. We can't help it. See, whether we sleep at 1 o'clock or whatever it is, the body gets up in the morning at 5 o'clock, right? But then you feel, okay, I slept at 1 o'clock, so let me take 1 more hour rest. So that's what I did. 6 o'clock, I got up and then did Sandhya Vandanam, everything. Back to action.
Normal.
Yeah. The afternoon we can take some rest, so no problem. Yeah.
Oh, what is the time there now? That means
It's 8:30 in the morning. 8:34.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Ajo nitya iti bhrute srutiresha tvamoghavak tadhatmana tishtatos tishtatah asya kuta prarabdha kalpana. So we have now entered, as we come to the close of our selection of verses of Vivekachudamani, we are coming close to the last few slokas. And here Adi Shankara takes us to the highest level of Vedanta. In fact, normally these messages, these ideas are meant for very senior students who have already done Nididhyasanam, Sravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam for a fairly long amount of time. And especially they do not have any doubt about whatever they have learned till now. And here Shankaracharya comes to the what I would call the ultimate message. It is not that, like Sadeva Saumya Idamagra Asit Ekameva Advitiyam, says the Upanishad. So Sat Eva Idam Agre Asit. There was, before the entire creation, what was there? There was Sat, there was Brahman alone. Ekameva Advitiyam, non-dual Brahman alone, says Upanishads. Now, this is a very cryptic statement which we need to derive a lot of messages from them. So, okay, that Brahman is all pervasive, we have understood. We can't experience that Brahman, we can't see that Brahman, but we can understand its existence from whatever we observe. Fine, that's also okay. And that Brahman is the Karanam for this entire creation. Brahman with its Maya Shakti is the Karanam for this entire creation. That also we understand. See, the Upanishad takes us step by step. Then we understand that Brahman is not only all pervasive, I am that Brahman. I am the one who is giving existence to everything in this creation. Mayyeva sakalam jatam, mayyeva pratishtitam, mayyeva layam yati. That Advaya Brahman I am. That is the message we have got. Okay, so I am Brahmasmi. I am the only reality. So if I say I am the only reality, then what about this entire world? If I am the only reality, the entire world has got to be unreal, isn't it? We cannot have two realities. One, I am reality, world is reality. So that is where, what is this nature of this world? This creation is what Adi Shankara is now expounding. And he uses the topic of prarabdham for that purpose. So he is now in the process of expounding the role of prarabdham from the Shastric angle, the Jnani's angle. Acharya said in the previous sloka that it is not proper to talk of existence of prarabdham for a Jnani who remains in himself as non-dual Brahman, free from identification with the upadhis. And he compared it, it's like talking of connection for the waker with the dream objects. And in this sloka, he says, it is not my idea to say all these things, but it is the very Veda, the Shruti, the scriptures say so. Since prarabdham is always talked about in the context of birth of a jiva, since it is said that the prarabdham determines when, where, in what form, and to whom a jiva is born, the Acharya now raises a rhetorical question. He says that, according to Shruti, Atma is unborn, not bound by time. And then Shruti's words are indeed infallible. And therefore, for a Jnani who has ended his identification with the body, mind, sense complex, and who always abides in his higher nature as the very unborn, timeless Atma, how can prarabdha be imputed to him? Prarabdha can be imputed if you consider yourself to be born. But if you consider to be yourself to be unborn and timeless, how can we impute any prarabdha to such a person? Of course, this is a rhetorical question. It means that prarabdha cannot be imputed to him. All these thoughts, about the presence of prarabdha, exhaustion of prarabdha, etc., are based on the assumption that I am born, I am the body. So when I look upon myself as the body, I have to think, oh, prarabdham has started from my birth. And Shankaracharya says, this story has long been forgotten by a Jnani who has delved into the Upanishad mantras and who has made the Upanishad mantras meaningful. He has fully assimilated the message of the mantras. For him, these mantras are not just for learning and chanting and teaching, but these mantras govern his very lifestyle, his thoughts, his attitudes, his approach to life. All are carved by these mantras. Each and every mantra, each and every message of the Upanishads, they are alive in his brain, always. And in the last class, we also saw a mantra from Kathopanishad and a sloka from Gita, where Atma is described as Aja hai, unborn, and Nitya hai, timeless, eternal. Now, that Aja hai and Nitya hai, if we take ourselves as per the Upanishad mantras, then what are the consequences of that is what he is dealing with that with in this sloka. So he says, Aja Nitya iti Shruti Bhute Bhrute. Bhrute means declares, tells. Shruti declares that the Atma is Aja unborn, and Nitya hai, timeless, eternal. And Shruti Yesha tu Amoghavak. And these words of Shruti are ever true, infallible. Therefore, as a Jnani who has studied Vedanta for years, for whom the Upanishadic words are true and who abides in these words and the messages of the Upanishads, how can he retain the thinking that I was born and so date as a miserable jiva with the purpose of exhausting my prarabdha? Therefore, tadatmana tishtataha, who is abiding in his true nature as revealed by Shruti, who remains firmly in the knowledge that I am Ajaha Nityaha, I am the birthless, deathless Brahman. Asya prarabdha kalpana kutaha, where is the question of prarabdha for him? So as we saw in the last class, a jnani does not dismiss the prarabdha. He only negates the reality of the prarabdha. Like everything else in the universe, prarabdha is also mithya for him. Therefore, asya jnaninaha, for a jnananishta who is abiding in this awareness all the time, kutaha prarabdha kalpana. Where is the question of superimposition of prarabdham in the form of, see, I am suffering from prarabdham, I am exhausting my prarabdham, I am waiting for my videha mukti, etc. Because I want to run away from this world. I don't want another birth. I want to escape from this world, from all the miseries of this world. Such an escapist mukti does not have any relevance for him. And he questions himself, why should I escape from this mithya universe? This entire universe is the cause for all the troubles and all the fears, all the miseries. When I very well know that this is only a mithya universe, then why should I try to escape from the? In fact, I will enjoy this more if I know that this is mithya. Like we go to a movie, we go with full awareness. This whole movie is mithya. It is appearing there, but the whole story, the drama, the acting, the music, everything is on the superimposition on the screen. So we enjoy the movie. We are not concerned. If there is some glorious scenes there in the movie, we are not moved by that. We may be moved temporarily, but we know this is all just acting going on. Therefore, asya munehe. Here the munehe we have to supply from the previous sloka. So asya munehe kutah prarabdha kalpana. Where is the question of prarabdha assumption for him? Kalpana here means assumption. Kalpana that I have a prarabdham, such an assumption is not there. Gurunamapi dukkhena na vichalyate. Even in the worst form of suffering, he does not lose sight of this jnanam, this knowledge. As I said, kutaha here is not a question, it is negation. Aksheparte kutaha. Sanskrit students who are there for them. Okay, so now we continue. शरीरस्यापि प्रारब्धकल्पना भ्रान्तिरेव हि अध्यस्तस्य कुतः सत्त्वम् असत्त्वस्य कुतो जनिः अजातस्य कुतो नाशः प्रारब्धम् असतः कुतः. So the Advaya of this sloka is Sharirasya prarabdha kalpana api bhrantihi evahi. Adyastasya kutah sattvam asattvasya janihi kutah ajatasya nashah kutah asatah prarabdham kutah. Sharirasya for the body, prarabdha kalpana imputing of prarabdha, api also, bhrantihi is a delusion. Eva alone, he, because adyastasya for the superimposed, kutaha where, sattvam independent existence, asattvasya for that which has no independent existence, janihi birth, kutaha where, ajatasya for that which is not born, nashaha destruction, kutaha where, asataha for that which is not real, prarabdham kutaha where is prarabdham. So the imputing of prarabdha for the body too is a delusion alone. Because where is independent existence for what is superimposed? Where is birth for that which has no independent existence? Where is destruction for that which is unborn? Where is prarabdha for what is unreal? So first we gave an answer that Jnani has got prarabdha. Isn't it few slokas earlier? We said Jnani has got prarabdham. After Jnanam, what happens? We said that Sanchita karma and Agami karma, they are destroyed or as though destroyed. But prarabdha continues till the Videha Mukti. So the first answer is that Jnani has got prarabdham. And Shankaracharya even supported this message with the example of a released arrow. Arrow is released, so you cannot stop it. It will go and hit the object for which it is released. Then later, a little while later, Shankaracharya revised the answer. He said that it is wrong to say Jnani is prarabdham because Jnani is Atma, birthless, deathless, akarta, abhokta. Therefore, Jnani, the Atma, does not have prarabdham at any time. So these are two developments. First is Jnani has prarabdham, and the second revised answer is Jnani, the Atma, does not have prarabdham at all. Then the student may ask, okay, Jnani's Atma may not have prarabdham, Atma is free and all that. We already know that because we have studied all this, in very big Gita classes and right from Tattva Bodha, this is what we are studying. But Guruji, shouldn't you agree that Jnani's body has got prarabdham? Therefore, should you not say Jnani, the Atma doesn't have prarabdham, but Jnani, the body has prarabdham? It's a good argument. And generally, the Acharyas give the answer that prarabdham is there for the body of the Jnani, so that the student will at least feel satisfied. Oh, I was good, I was clever in understanding the message. Because the student wants to cry and validate the crying. Why I am suffering? Because of prarabdham, and I want to cry. And I want a reason for that, crying, suffering, and that is prarabdha. Therefore, in the initial stage, as the Guru says, okay, okay, you cry howsoever you want, how much soever you want. You don't have prarabdha, your body has got prarabdha. So cry for the body, family, etc. And here now, Shankaracharya negates that argument also. He says, even to say Jnani's body has got prarabdha is not correct, because saying so will mean accepting the existence of the body, existence of the family, existence of the pancha anatma. So he says, through nididhyasanam, Jnani should have consistently negated the existence of all anatma, like negating the existence of the dream by saying that dream has got only borrowed existence, it does not have its own existence. I have lent existence to the dream, therefore it appears to exist, it doesn't really exist. Unless you come to this understanding, then only Advaitam will be established. If you say Atma exists and body also exists with Prarabdha, there will be Dvaitam. Prarabdha Sahitam Shariram, Prarabdha Rahitam Atma. You can't say that. You should not say that. Therefore, the practice of Nididhyasanam is I am non-dual. I am non-dual Brahman. Neha nanasti kinchana. There is nothing other than me. And this is the height of Advaita. This is the height of Advaita Vedanta. Therefore, Shankaracharya is ruthless here. This sloka will appear too powerful and too high sometimes for our understanding. But this is the height of Vedanta that a Jnani must have reached through the Nidhyasanam. So, whenever we do Nidhyasanam, these are the slokas that we have to dwell upon. Instead of saying, I am Atma, I am Brahman, I should practice saying, I am free from prarabdha. There is no second thing to suffer. Everything is an appearance. I do not question the appearance, but it doesn't exist. It is not there. The mirage water appears, but on inquiry, it is not there. What I see as a mirage water is an illusion, a delusion. Therefore, Shankaracharya says, Sharirasya prarabdha api kalpana bhrantihi eva. Talking about the prarabdha karma of the body is kalpana. Whose body? Jnani's body. Kalpana means assumption, imputation. So assumption of existence of prarabdha for the body of the jnani also is kalpana. And why does he use the word api or also? Because previously he negated prarabdham for atma. Now he negates prarabdham for anatma also by saying there is no anatma. Brahmaive Brahmaiva idam amritam purastad brahma paschat brahma dakshinatah cha uttarena adachordvam cha prasrutam brahmaiva idam vishwamidam varishtam. Mundakopanishad. Everything up, down, right, left, north, south, east, west, everything there is only Brahman. Then Taitra Upanishad says, Ahamannam, 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 Ahamannado, Hamannado, Hamannadah, Ahagushtokakrit, Ahagushtokakrit, Ahakrit, Stokakrit. I am alone there. There is no second thing called body. All these slokas, Upanishads, more you study the Upanishads, you will come up with all these ideas in different, only the vocabulary or the language, I won't call the language, the words are different. Message is the same. There is no second thing called body. Sharirasya prarabdha kalpana api. For such an assumption that it exists for the body, Bhranti eva, it is also a misconception, a self misconception, because that gives a validation for worrying. Now, one funny thing happens. Some of us, who study Vedanta for some time, we start saying, oh, I have understood I am Atma. I have no problem, but my body has got problem. And this is, they say, though, to show that, to demonstrate that they have disidentified with the body. So I am decided, I am not the body. But I don't have problem, my body has got some problem. The idea is there is no question of my or my body. It is all a delusion. Never preserve the delusion. You can talk about, suppose what time you learnt in Vedanta, your family members ask. You say, no, I have learned that I am Atma, I am not this body, mind, sense complex. That much you can say. But you need not go and tell your family members that body doesn't exist, it is a delusion, etc. First of all, they are not interested in Vedanta. If they were interested, they would not have asked this question and learnt it. Secondly, that even if you tell all these things, take the trouble, nobody will understand. And that's why I said that's the highest message of Vedanta. But in your private, when you are in private dialogue, monologue, in privacy, these facts should dominate our mind and not the family worries. You should not even think that if there is somebody who is suffering in the family, it is because of his prarabdha. Your understanding should be that suffering is an appearance, but actually there is no suffering because there is no body to suffer. The body itself is an appearance. So an appearance body appears to suffer. There is no reality to any of these things. Such thoughts should dominate. Now, if you say I have no time for Vedanta and all that, the first answer is find time. If you are interested in this, if you are convinced about this, and you want to learn. Otherwise, suffer samsara. On the one hand, there will be Vedantic knowledge. On the other hand, suffer samsara. It is just like the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And now you know why, how important Nididhyasanam is, because this is the messages of Vedanta that we have to dwell upon again and again and again. All this knowledge we have to bring, chew them like the cows chew the cud, like that we have to chew those knowledge, digest them, assimilate them. And that is how important Nididhyasanam is. And the problem most of us face is whatever we are discussing is not unknown to us. Yeah, we have been going through these messages again and again and again. But the problem is they are not available readily on hand whenever we are facing the so-called problems. And that is why Shankaracharya is now again giving the message, Sharirasya api prarabdha kalpana bhrantihi evahi. That is also a bhranti, a misconception only. Because adyastasya kuta sattvam. We look upon the world as a projection. Adhyastham means superimposition. The whole world or the whole universe is like a rope snake. I, the Atma, am like the rope. The entire universe, especially the Pancha Anatma, is like the rope snake, which is a superimposition due to ignorance. Like the dream, which is a superimposition. Like a movie, which is a superimposition. All these are mithya. I only have projected this world with my Maya Shakti. I am the super waker who has projected this world. It is not that I have become a super waker. I was always the super waker, but I didn't know this all this time. And then after coming to Vedanta, learning all this, now I realize that there is nothing called separate this thing called dream world, waking world, and super waking world. There is only super waking world. The messages of the super waker alone are real. I, the super waker, I have projected this world. I project the dream world. I enter the dream world and I give reality to the dream world. And then I see a nightmarish dream. I suffer. So I project, I enter, I give reality, I suffer. Shankaracharya says you will never suffer if you remember all this is projection, it is all unreal. It cannot touch what is real. So I am never affected by anything. Therefore, adhyastasya sharirasya kutah sattvam. Where is the existence for the superimposed body? Again, it's not a question. It contains the answer. The body does not exist really. Even talking about prarabdham of the body is wrong. Why? He explains. Because adhyastasya kutah sattvam. Body itself is adhyastha, superimposed. It is mithya. So when the body itself is mithya, unreal, kuta sattvam, how can unreal body be born? There is no question of birth of something which is not real. And kuta again is here rhetorical, means it cannot be born. Because if you talk of the birth of the body, then you have to talk about prarabdham as the cause of its birth. But the birth of the body itself you cannot talk about, because it is just an appearance. It does not exist in reality. To talk of birth is to talk of coming into existence. Like when we say a child is born, you are meaning that a child has come into existence, that it is existing independently. So the word birth conveys coming to existence and enjoying independent existence. And therefore, the verb origination can never be used for a mithya vastu. A rope snake is never born. It is only born in your understanding, misunderstanding rather. The rope snake appears because of your ignorance, because of your misunderstanding. You superimpose a snake on the rope and the snake appears. Therefore, adhyastasya kuta sattvam, where is independent existence of a superimposed body? Then asatvasya kuta janihi. Again, same message he uses. Asatva here means mithya body. Kutah janihi, where is the origination? there is only appearance. Just as the dream body appears, not that the dream body that I have conceived by someone is going to come. That's not going to happen. The moment I enter the dream, I have got an adult body projected. Just as the dream body is projected by me in my dream, this body is also projection of Maya, my Maya Shakti. Therefore, you can talk about the appearance of the body, not about the origination of the body. Again, these are all very high level Vedanta concepts. This is called Drishti Srishti Vada. Very advanced level. So we will not go into the details. When we read Chandogya, etc., or Brahma Sutra, we will see all these, different concepts. It's not just somebody is saying something and you just have to accept it. Acharyas analyze all these tooth and nail, as they say, to establish that whatever Vedanta Upanishad talks are not illogical. If you apply the correct logic, you will understand them to be very, very, at least not logical, but at least not illogical. So Shankaracharya says the body doesn't originate, body is projected by Maya. But you will ask, whose Maya? My own Maya. So asatvasya, for an unreal body, kutah janihi, where is origination? It means there is no origination, there is only appearance. And ajatasya nashaha kutah. So once you understand that the rope snake is just an appearance, you cannot talk about the death of the rope snake also. So there is no question of a date of birth for the rope snake. There is no question of the death of the rope snake also. There is no going away of the rope snake also. So when I get the knowledge of the rope, it is not the death of rope snake itself. I understand that there is no rope snake for dying. Because we can talk about death only when something which is for something which is existent. When I understand there is no rope snake, then where is the question of either birth or death? It was never born, but it appeared for some time when I was ignorant, and later it disappeared. The whole universe is like that. So, origination of the universe is also a mithya. Elimination of the world is also a mithya. Because you cannot talk about origination and elimination of a mithya thing. It is just an appearance. That's the end of it. So he says, don't ask too many questions about origination, elimination, etc. Because it is simply not there, but it only appears. Therefore, ajatasya kutah nashaha, where is the question of death of the body which is never born in the first place? All this talk about prarabdha karma, videha mukti, etc. is all from an ajnani's standpoint. Because an ajnani thinks, oh, this body is existing now, it is going to die later. From a jnani's angle, body did not originate also, therefore body cannot die also. Therefore, ajatasya, for the unborn body, unborn world, unborn prarabdham, where is nashaha, destruction. And therefore, we should not say jnanam destroys prarabdham, because if I accept it destroys, I am accepting its existence also. So prarabdham does not exist. I negate the prarabdham. And the appearance of the prarabdham also as existing is because it is borrowing existence from me. As I said, there are so many such concepts. Ajati Vada hai, there is one, school. Ajati Vada hai, Drishti Srishti Vada hai. All advanced concepts in Vedanta. You will have to do a lot of mananam about this because easily you cannot assimilate this knowledge. That's why Shravanam, apart from Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam are very important. But Mandukya Karika, second and third chapter, in fact, third chapter is more elaborate. They talk about this Ajati Vada, where you consistently negate the origination of the world. Later on, if you get an opportunity, you must study Mandukya Karika with Bhashyam. And after a thorough study, after understanding what is said, there, revisit these verses. You should revisit these verses. Then you will understand the impact. So, ajatasya kutah nasha and prarabdham asatah kutah. Here, asat means mithya. For a mithya body, a non-originating body, where is the question of prarabdham? It is just a temporary appearance only. Continuing, so we come to the 100th sloka in our selection. ज्ञानेन अज्ञानकार्यस्य समूलस्य लयो यदि तिष्ठत्ययं कथं देहः इति शंकावतो जडान् समादातुं बाह्यदृष्ट्या प्रारब्धं वदति श्रुतिः. Another, whenever we go through these messages and these slokas, we will have a lot of doubts in our mind. And different people will have different kinds of doubts, but all the doubts are valid doubts. You'll say, why do people say that there is prarabdham? That's what most people do, isn't it? When they have a problem, they will rush to a josier, an astrologer, and ask him to read his horoscope. And then, what is in store for me? Why I am having all this suffering? Rahu dasha, Ketu dasha, Shani dasha, all these things. And that astrologer also will give you all that. That's fine. I mean, there is nothing wrong with that. But that's a different class of people, is what Adi Shankara says here. It is not for you. You are a jnani. Are you going to be a jnani? So he says, Anvaya of this sloka, Yadi jnanena samulasya ajnana karyasya layah katam ayam deha tishtati iti shankavatah jadan samadhatum bahya drishtya shrutihi prarabdham vadati. Yadi, if jnanena, by knowledge, samulasya, along with its cause, ajnana karyasya, of the product of ignorance, layaha, resolution takes place. Katam, how, I am this, deha, body, tishtati, remains. Iti, shankavataha, those who doubt thus, jadan, dull-witted, samadhatum, to satisfy by an answer, bahya drishtya, from an empirical standpoint, shrutihi, the Veda, prarabdham, about prarabdha vadati, talks. So, what he is saying, a very important point. He says the Shruti talks of Prarabdha from an empirical standpoint to satisfy those dull-witted person who raise a question. What question? How does this body continue to remain if the resolution of product of ignorance along with its cause takes place in the wake of knowledge? Isn't it? When we say there is no prarabdham, there is no question of birth, there is no question of death. Question is, but I have a body, isn't it? So, if you take that there is prarabdham, then and you say there is no prarabdham once knowledge is there, how does this body remain? So, when we talk of this ajati vada and mithyatvam of the universe, including our body mind complex, there will be a very big question. And this question is raised by not just Agyanis, all other commentators of Veda, Vedanta, the non-Advaitic commentators, great scholars rather, raise a question. The Advaitins say the world doesn't originate, and it is only the Agyanis who talk about origination of the world and body because of ignorance. And prarabdham being the cause of their origination, all these talked about only by ignorant people. But really speaking, the world does not originate, the body does not originate. And Shruti says that is the truth. Then all other non-Advaitic commentators, they pounce upon the Advaitin. They don't read. They don't study Mandukya Karika second and third chapters. And when the Advaitin says that the world is originating because of my ignorance, they ask a very valid question. I can understand that you say that because of your ignorance, all these things, prarabdha, etc., you are talking about. How come Veda itself is talking about the origination of the world, origination of the body? The whole karma kanda is about that punyam, papam, prarabdham, sanchitam, etc. Veda itself talks about all these things. Veda clearly talks about Srishti. How dare you say that the world does not originate, the body does not originate? Because Veda gives validity to all these things. And this is a very, very big question and a very important question, which is there in the mind of all the people who have reached this stage. For that, Gaudapadacharya, who is the author of Mandukya Karika, gives an answer. There is a chapter or portion called Advaita Prakaranam. He says, Mulloha Vispulingadhyai Srishtirya Choditan Yatha Upaya Sovataraya Nasti Beda Katanchana. He says that Veda talks about the origination of the body, world, etc. I accept. But you must understand that these are talked about temporarily and provisionally for the sake of the student at the lower level. Because in the beginning itself, if Vedanta says there is no origination of the world, therefore the world does not exist at all, then the student will go away and say, your Vedanta also doesn't exist. No student can accept the negation of the world unless he has come to the advanced concepts of Vedanta. When the person is frightened of the imaginary snake and is so sure that there is snake and it is poisonous too, and he is running away, At that time, if you tell him there is no snake, they will think that it is only you're only trying to console him. Because you are not afraid of the snake, you want me also not to be fearful of the snake. He will then probably, because he respects you, will say, okay, okay, I understand all that, but I will continue running away from the snake. Such is the student who is very sure that there is a world, it is like a snake. So, what should the teacher do? You should first go along with the student and say, there is a snake. It is like children, small kids, toddlers, they fall down, they get hurt. And the parents know that it's a temporary thing. So they will say, oh, this floor has hurt you, I will punish the floor. And they will actually hit the floor 2, 3 times. The child is happy. Oh, this floor actually hurt me. My father or mother, they have punished the floor. Temporary only. Later on, the student will understand, or the child will understand when it grows up, that it was my fall which hurt me, not the floor. Because my bones could not take that impact. So, what happens in Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta? Once in the initial stage, the teacher accepts that there is a snake, even though he knows that that is not real, but the student believing it is real. So, he actually deliberately tells a lie. Yes, you are right, there is a snake. But for that one lie, the guru has to tell so many lies. Because once you say there is a snake, then the student will ask, how did it originate? From where did it come from? Then you have to give the cause of the snake, give it a name, rope. The student doesn't know there is a rope at all. Where he has not seen the rope. If he has seen the rope, then he will not see the snake. So you have to introduce a rope which he does not see or understand. So you will have to say, from that rope the snake came. Like when kids ask us, parents, from where we were born, how we were born, we will say some stork or bird came and dropped you. At that level, that is the understanding the teacher will have to give. Instead, say, oh, the snake came from the rope. And by that rope, the snake is sustained. Yato va imani bhutani jayante, yena jatani jivante, yat prayat yat prayanti abhisam samvishanti yat prayanti abhishamvishanti tad vignajasva tad brahmeti, etc. You have to tell, because all these are Shruti Vakyas. Shruti itself says, what? Yato va imani bhutani jayante. From this all the jivas are born. So you will have to talk about birth, origination, death, prarabdha, etc. Everything you will have to talk about. Then the problem is that the other person is convinced now, because the guru is validating his perception and is quoting all these Shrutis mantras to say, even though all these are all temporary, provisional, the guru doesn't tell him that in the initial stages. All these are wrong. But guru doesn't expose the student to this in the initial stages. Then gradually, what happens? The student is saying snake, snake, snake. Guru says yes, yes, yes. Then teach him all this, from where it was born, etc. Then he will gradually console him and teach him. He will ask him, you know, The snakes, when they hear human or any noise, they run away. They're very scared. Do you know that? You will say, I've seen. No, whenever I used to walk, snake will come and it will run away in the jungles. But this snake is not, it is just lying there, right? It is not running away. Yeah. So could this be a snake really? I don't know. Maybe, may not be. Maybe it is sleeping. Maybe it is just at its food and very tired. So Guru starts consoling him, teaching him. He says, I will take care of you. Do not worry. This snake, I know it is very harmless. Then the Guru takes a torch and then shines it on that rope snake. Then he asks the student, can you now see any snake there in this bright light? Student says, no, snake has disappeared. I can see a rope lying there. That is how the teacher, starting like Vedanta talks about the Srishti, Sthiti, Layam of the universe, Srishti, Sthiti, Layam of the body, their causes, karma, etc. That is what Veda teaches. Vedanta also accepts that in the initial stages. And this is called Adhyaropa, a temporary teaching for the frightened student, a junior student. Adhyaropa means wrong attribution. Initially accepting the origination of the snake, accepting the origination of the world, and after revealing the rope, I can tell him that the snake never existed, it never went away, it only appeared temporarily. All that we can say that later. And the later part of Vedantic teaching for a senior student is called Apavada. Apavada Vedanta, refutation. अध्यारोप अपवादाभ्याम निष्प्रपंचम प्रपंचते शिष्याणाम सुखबोधार्थम तत्वज्ञैः कल्पितः क्रमः. Beautiful sloka. Why Jnanis talk about, or Veda talks about all this origination, prarabdham, etc., is explained. Therefore, we accept the origination, existence, and dissolution of the world for junior students. Once the student is senior, in fact, having come to this stage, 100th sloka of our selection of Vivekachudamani, we all are supposed to be senior students now. So, assuming that we have evolved, Shankaracharya says, there is no origination, there is no question of destruction of this universe, including your own body, mind, sense complex. More we will see in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah.
Harihi
Harihi
Om.
Om. Thank you very much, Guruji. Namaskaram.
Thank you, Guru. Thank you. Namaskaram.
Thank you, Guruji. Namaste.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you. Hari Om. Namaste.
Hari Om Guruji, Namaskaram. Hari Om.
Namaskar.
Namaskaram, Guruji. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste. Yes, Hariji has raised his hands. After 2-3 weeks, we are seeing Hariji. He was on a trip to Bengal, right? I mean, Vivekananda, Belur Mutt, etc. Now he has returned, it seems. Yes, Hariji. What's your question?
Guruji, I was only 1 week. I was there last week.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
if you don't ask a question, then I don't know whether you are there or not. Anyhow, good.
Guruji, today's was probably the toughest session.
I warned you.
Today was the toughest session of Vivekachudamani.
Yes, no doubt.
Of all the classes you have taken, can you kindly, and I am very lucky that you have touched the subject Srishti, Drishti, and Drishti Srishti and Ajatavada. I have been desperately trying to get a little more details about it, and I am lucky that you touched that subject. Will you be able to explain a little more about it? What actually is Drishti Srishti Vada?
You have heard of Drig Drishya Viveka.
Yes.
What does that say? It says Driks eva satyam, Drishyam mithya. Right?
Yeah.
So the experiencer, the seer, is the only reality. What is experienced, what is seen is all mithya, it is only an appearance.
Okay.
So Drishti Srishti Vada is also similarly, whatever you are seeing as a creation is mithya. Because when you talk of creation, you talk of what? You talk of origination of the creation, dissolution of the creation, you talk of pralaya, you talk of from manifest, manifestation, go to unmanifestation, then again coming back to manifestation and all.
As a law, anything created has a death.
As a law, anything created has to have a destruction, correct?
Yeah.
What is born has to die.
Yeah.
Now the Shruti comes to the highest level where they say the only reality of this entire universe is you. And you are never born and you never die. So everything else which is Srishti, that is all mithya.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the Vada, and then in Mandukya Karika, because this is very simply I am explaining, still it will not go, you will not be convinced about it. For that, you have to go to Mandukya Karika, study the Bhashyam, where Adi Shankara gives so many examples for us to understand and appreciate this concept better. So both Drishti Srishti Vada and Ajata Vada are all both, sort of two sides of the same coin. Why it is Drishti Srishti Vada is sustained or correct is because of Ajata Vada. There is no question of any destruction. If there is no destruction of your body, then where is the question of prarabdham? Because we always say that the body dies because of prarabdha karma, correct? Yes. Are you still there? Or is network has dropped probably? Okay. I think his network has dropped. Anyway, he was the only one who asked that question. So, he's there.
No, I am. It's me.
Okay.
Yeah, Hariji got dropped, I think.
No, Hariji is there. I can see his name in this thing, but is
yeah, he's back.
yes, come back. Yes, back. He's back. Unmute yourself.
Yeah. I am back. It was a drop.
Yeah. I guess that. So what I'm trying to tell you is that it will be very difficult to give you a very convincing answer about all these higher concepts in just question answer session. For that, you have to be exposed to Mandukya Karika. Mandukya Karika.
Yeah. Guruji, will you be able? Pardon me if I can ask you. Will you be able to repeat this class? Because this is not. This was at least for me. It was not easy.
I understand that, but repetition of this class is not going to help you. I am going to say the same thing which I have said today, and which will be, you will again not understand anything. So, what you have to do, once you have been exposed to this through Vivekachudamani, now you will have to travel the journey of going to Upanishads, and even in Upanishads, there are simpler Upanishads like Mundaka Upanishad, Katha Upanishad and all, in basic concepts and medium level concepts. Then eventually you have to come to Mandukya and Karika, and there all these things are dealt with. So if you ask me to teach you a PhD level subject at the undergraduation level, it will be of no use. So you will understand all this when you come to the PhD level. Understand what I'm saying? That's why we don't, in Gurukulam, they don't teach, start with Mandukya Karika. Mandukya Karika is the last, Mandukya Upanishad, the last Upanishad they teach before Brahma Sutra. Because you do Mandukya Karika, then get into Brahma Sutra, then you will understand what Brahma Sutra talks about. So there is a syllabus. So you have to follow that syllabus throughout. Starting from Tattva Bodha, the syllabus goes up to Brahma Sutra. So yes, Acharya also will expose the students only to that extent where the students can understand at that level. So students' level has to be raised slowly. Eventually you will understand. Now, if I repeat the same message which I gave you 10 times also, you will remain the same only unless you have studied, you have gone to Mandukya Upanishad, you have gone to Brahma Sutra, then you will appreciate. Even after Mandukya Karika, there will be a lot of unanswered questions. There may not be questions in your mind, but there have been questions raised by so many students, and which is all captured by Adi Shankara in his Brahma Sutra Bhashyam. So that becomes very important. So this
in
is...
Mandukya.
Sorry? Again he is gone. His network is dropping. Okay, Girish ji, you ask your question. I'll come back to him.
Yeah, as you rightly said during the session, it is little bit difficult to digest.
Correct.
And of course, from various other discourses we have heard, and it's all talks about the appearances. Okay, but we did not understand what exactly, how is it possible, what appearances, because we are experiencing, we are seeing, we are, virtually seeing it. So, but now I think it was a great session, in my opinion, though, but slowly you have taken us and you have told that all the rest are being negated. And you have also told the reason for it. And you said that gradually, initially you have to say even the mithya as satyam, and then over a period of time, then you will tell the mithya, there is all the satyams which we have been talking about is also mithya. So we have reached that stage.
Correct.
We have reached that stage, and but as Hariji said, we are still only not reached to the.
Hey, you cannot become a jnani by just studying Vivekachudamani.
Correct.
We are only in one of the Prakarana Granthas. Vivekachudamani is also not Upanishad. It is just a Prakarana Grantha, an introductory text, which is exposing us to the concepts of Vedanta.
Correct.
But Tattva Bodha exposes us to the terminology of Vedanta. Because without knowing the terminology, you will not understand anything, right? So in Tattva Bodha, we learn terminology. Vivekachudamani, the concepts are explained by Shankaracharya. And we have a problem in the sense that out of 555 slokas, we have selected 108 slokas. So everything becomes, like what they call condensed rather, right?
Now, are we, you said that you have almost reached to the fag end of Vivekachudamani. We have got only 8 more slokas left. Now, just for, I'm curious to know whether or not, are we going to talk about the existence and consciousness in the rest of the slokas?
No, rest of the story, he will complete this this topic of prarabdha karma, how through understanding prarabdha karma as a mithya, how we can expand that understanding to the entire universe, to understand the whole universe is mithya. Another 3 shlokas he will talk about, and then he will talk about the phalam, etc. So the rest of them, we will not be repeating all these things again. But then the next text that we take up, which was probably, I'm now preparing myself for Mundaka Upanishad. When we take up Mundaka Upanishad, then another level of understanding will come. Eventually, all Upanishads talk about this only, but from a different standpoints in terms of, addressing different levels of students and things like that and all. So this journey of learning will have to continue as long as possible, rather, as long as we take the body, mind, sense complex as real.
Correct.
The moment you know it is not real, your journey is complete. There is no body to die. So journey is complete. So
yeah, but we have to put that in life too. It's not just hearing and leaving it at.
It is just like, some mathematical equations we solve, right? We say that let unknown quantity be x.
Correct.
And then we will go on using x to solve. And then finally, we will remove that x from the whole equation. Then we will get the result. So like that, we have to assume that this body, mind, sense, complex, everything is real and go through this whole thing. Then finally, when we come to that, remove the x, remove all these things, saying they are all mithya. That is the final culmination of this entire teaching. That's how it is.
Hari.
So, Hariji, you again, this thing dropped.
Yeah, it is today very highly unstable internet connection.
Yeah.
Even during the class also 2-3 times
It dropped.
it dropped. Yeah.
You can.
But Guruji, I am telling you, this is I don't know what should I tell you. This can be it can be an accidental coincidence. In the last 1 week, I have asked the same question to yesterday. Yesterday we had a session with Swami Swarupananda of Acharya from Pune.
Okay.
So you know him.
Yeah, I've heard about him, not met him.
Yeah, okay. He was in Hyderabad.
Okay.
I asked him the same identical question.
So what did
about
he?
No, see, his health. He is not. His health is not in the right. So he said, I will let you know a book that is a Sanskrit book of, and probably you should be able to go through that.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. But then you touched the subject today. I was so. I'm so happy. Though I didn't understand.
No, don't worry about understanding, because you will not understand at this stage. You have to travel a little more to understand. Travel more in this path of spiritual journey, Shravanam, more Mananam, all that will have to be done to understand.
Which verse will give me more idea about this Srishti, Drishti and Drishti Srishti and Ajadavada in Mandukya Upanishad?
Well, it's not a Upanishad, it is the Karika. You have to.
Yeah. But
second and third chapter, Advaita Prakaranam, of Mandukya Karika, you must study.
Okay.
Second and third chapter. That will give you the complete thing about the Ajatavada and Drishti Srishtivada.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Right. Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Thank you. Any more questions? Okay, then we'll close the session and continue next week. Hari Om.
Hari
Hari
Om.
Om. Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.